Hi there, America. This is Stan, the Annuity Man. Unfortunately, I am America's annuity agent, licensed in all 50 states, including yours, the one that you're sitting in. I'm sure it's beautiful there. I'm not going to reveal where we are because that's a secret. What isn't a secret is this Shrink the Giant shirt. You're saying, Shrink the Giant? Stan, you're a giant in the annuity industry. What are you talking about? It's a band from Utah. I like them. You know, you can send me t-shirts. If you send me t-shirts, I'll wear them. And someone sent me this t-shirt because they want to promote the band. So we're going to promote the band. I listen to them, and I'm a music snob, and I actually like them, which is good. So what are we doing today? We're talking about annuities, but we're also talking about a video that I shot, I'm going to say 5-6 years ago. It was in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The person I shot it with, his name is Gary Baker, and he's the head honcho for CANNEX North America, and CANNEX provides us with all of the contractual guarantee quotes for immediate annuities and deferred income annuities and QLACs and MIGAs and all that stuff. They're all in the contractual guarantee business. But what we did is shot a series of these videos. And this video is about deferred income annuities. So the pros and cons, the facts about deferred income annuities, which is fantastic. Right, producer? It's fantastic. So let's hit the music when I point at, not yet, producer, when I point at the screen. And then we're going to come right back quickly and then go to the video. All right, that was a great punk rock music video. It's fantastic, but let's get to the meat of the matter. Let's talk about deferred income annuities, the pros and cons of DIAs with yours truly and Gary Baker. We're talking about deferred income annuities, Gary, DIAs, also called longevity annuities by the financial press.
That's
sometimes.
Correct.
Deferred income annuities are for income later. We've talked about single premium immediate annuities. That's income now. But a deferred income annuity comes from the single premium immediate annuity. It's kind of an offshoot. Explain that.
That's right. So instead of purchasing your pension and getting your income right away, you can make that purchase, but you're going to wait for a while. In other words, you're going to keep it in the oven and let it cook a little bit. And as a result, the payout that you're going to get is going to be a little bit higher or even a lot more higher than what you would typically get from an immediate
So the
annuity.
more that you let it cook with the annuity company, the more they enhance the payout. Enhance in the South, where I'm from, means up more, right?
Exactly right.
Okay, got it. But in essence, it's an immediate annuity structure.
Right.
There's nothing different other than immediate annuity means income now, and the deferred income annuity means income later.
That's right. You're still transferring your risk. You're still getting a return of not only principal and interest, but your mortality credit, or as we say, the last man standing credit.
Go through the last man standing again, just so people understand mortality credit from an elevator speech standpoint.
Sure. So when you're investing in these products, you're investing with a number of other people at the same age, and you have a life expectancy. And let's say your life expectancy is 85 years old. 50% of you are going to live past that age. 50% of you are not going to make it up to that age.
Got it.
So when you're in that pool of people, over time, as people start passing away, the remaining people in that pool will essentially receive the money or the credit so that they can continue with their lifetime payments.
So like an immediate annuity, it's a return of principal plus interest and mortality credits, right?
That's correct.
And we're talking about income later, so immediate annuities are like a year in, right? So in most cases, but deferred income annuities are 2 years. As far as how far out can you go?
30, 35, 40 years.
So if you have that wondering ambiguity child that you know is never going to make any money in the future, you buy them the deferred income annuity and have the income start, when they become adults, so at least they can buy groceries.
Sure.
Right?
I mean, that's exactly right. Well, you're making a very good point because today they're positioned for somebody who's nearing retirement, let's say somebody in their mid to late 50s.
Got it.
And if they don't already have a pension, they can start buying into one of these contracts and start creating their own pension in the same way that they can catch up in a 401k and invest more than the typical person contributing to their 401k.
It's a pension. It's a pension.
It's a pension. But to your point, you can buy them for children as well to kind of help satisfy their needs later in life too.
Single premium immediate annuities, you can set up for life payments. You can set it up for a period of time. You can combine that. D is the same?
Absolutely.
D is the same. So it's a transfer of risk. You can run it single or joint with a spouse, correct?
Right.
IRA, non-IRA money. People
Right.
call it non-qualified. I call it non-IRA. So if you have non-IRA money you want to use, you can do that.
That's right.
And typically the annuity carriers will allow you to defer that up to 70 years old. And we'll talk about the sister product of the DIA, which is the QLAC, in another video series that you can use in your IRA. So tell me kind of a little bit about where it fits. It's a life expectancy bet just like an immediate annuity, right? So in essence, you're saying, I think I'm going to live longer than your actuaries think I'm going to live, and if I do, you, the annuity company's on the hook to pay me, so there's no ROI until you die, right? But where does it fit in the portfolio?
So if let's say you're 10 years away from retirement and you already have an estimate as far as what your Social Security check's going to be.
Right.
If you're lucky enough to have a pension,
right,
you have a pretty good idea of maybe what that payment's going to be. And you may already have a good idea of what your living expenses could be when you're hitting retirement. And let's say that's age 65 in this case. So with a DIA, you can essentially look and see what the gap fill would be to cover your expenses at that time, knowing your other sources of guaranteed lifetime income. But as we mentioned before, you may only have to put in a certain amount of money to meet that gap compared to a immediate income annuity, where the premium that you would need could be much higher because you don't have that deferral.
So you can do a lump sum and find out what it's going to pay, right? Or you can gap fill. You can say, I need this amount of money per month, and then figure out how much premium's needed. Right. And obviously, it's kind of like single premium immediate annuities. It's the older you are when you turn on the income stream, the higher the payment.
Right.
So every annuity contract on the planet has limitations and benefits.
That's right.
Okay. Let's talk about kind of the benefits of the product since we're in that, and then we'll talk about the limitations. Benefits of a deferred income annuity, longevity annuity.
Sure. I think, again, it's simple. It's simple to understand. The only difference between the immediate and this is that you get to defer your payment and get a little bit more bang for your buck, if you will. It's a transfer risk from that perspective. And so it can meet that, that gap need or that floor need in your portfolio.
Easy to understand. I always tell people if you can explain your annuity strategy to a 9-year-old, and no offense to 9-year-olds, okay,
right,
and they understand it, then you might want to buy it.
That's right.
Because you can explain it. Never buy an annuity that you can't understand. Never buy that product. Let's talk about limitations similar to immediate annuities, liquidity.
Right.
Talk about liquidity.
Yeah, there's limited liquidity. You're giving up some of that flexibility for that long-term commitment or that long-term guarantee. But that being said, there are some provisions where you can change your mind and get out.
Even though you're locked in.
Even though you're locked in.
Right.
And the case with a deferred income annuity in this case, if you're waiting 10 years before that first payment, and if you retire earlier, you typically have at least one shot to change that payment start date.
Got it. Okay, so there's no market attachments. One of the things people always say about deferred income annuities is, hey, Stan, I give you this money and I'm deferring for this time, but I don't see any interest rate growth. I don't see any market growth.
Right.
Now, the annuity companies are going to come back and say, well, we're kind of growing your money because we're enhancing the payout at the back end. It's kind of a limitation, though, because there's not that growth, correct?
Right. You don't have access to that market participation or the growth in that contract. You're going to get, what you're going to get after 10 years.
The same misconceptions in all these products have misconceptions in the public because some people say, hey, I hate all annuities. You can't say that. Can you time this thing with interest rates? No, you can, and the thing is, if you need income, you need income. There's times if you're concerned whether it's now or later, right?
If it's now or later.
Okay.
If you're concerned about interest rate movements, then you can buy a little bit at a time.
Irrevocable?
No, not necessarily. Again,
because people say, hey, ripping the knob off the water faucet, water's coming, but there are some provisions contractually to allow you to get
Again, they're
out.
limited, but the rules are there, and most of the contracts sold today have some type of liquidity.
And just like immediate annuities, I get this all the time. Hey, Stan, my Learjet hits the mountain. Money goes poof. Annuity company keeps it. I hate the annuity company. That's only one way to structure it, though, right?
Right. They refer to that as a life-only contract, but most annuities purchased today have some form of death benefit, whether it's through a period certain or a cash refund.
And the life-only obviously is going to have the highest payout because you're accepting some of that risk, right? But most people don't do that, right?
No. For some advanced financial plans, you may want to go with something like that if you feel you have other instruments that you're going to be putting into the portfolio.
Okay, sounds good. And then we also talked about the misconceptions are, what's the interest rate on it? We just talked about that on the limitations.
Right.
There is no market growth, but there is an enhancement. The more the money is cooking at the annuity company, the more they're going to pay you,
That's right.
And the older you are when you turn it on, the higher the payment because you're less the life expectancy. Right. This is a pension, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, this is Social Security. If you break this down, I love this when people say, I hate all annuities. I go, do you hate Social Security? Do you hate those payments? They're like, no, I like those. Really?
Right.
It doesn't work that way. A DIA, a deferred income annuity, is really Social Security because people do the same thing. Hey, Gary, I'm going to wait till 70 to turn it on because I'm going to get a higher payment. All right, so let's take a look at some DIA quotes and show people how these work. And people need to understand, the reason CANNEX is so important is you guys are going to quote the annuity world, quote the DIA world,
Right.
based on the specific information that's provided,
Right.
customize, and then show the top contractual guarantees.
Yes.
So if somebody says, I've got the best DIA, they don't. Because when you go into a CANNEX quote, what I like is you don't know who's going to finish first or second. People always ask me all the time, well, let's run the quote stand. Who do you think, who do you like? I don't know. Let's find out. So let's find out.
Okay, let's take a look here. So let's take Robert, or same
From
couple.
Texas.
Robert and
Got
Mary.
it.
But let's just do a single life just to see how
Deferred income annuity, how long is he deferring for?
Let's see here. He's going to defer for 5 years. So he's 65 today. Let's say he defers. His first payment will be 70 years old. Mm-hmm. Okay, so he'll put in about 100 grand, and we'll take a look at what he would get back, and that's about $780 per month.
Got it. Lifetime.
Lifetime. Again, with no death benefit, but
Right.
that'll be the highest he can,
That's
the
the highest
highest
he can
juice he can get out of this type
Got
of
it.
contract. Now, if he were to wait, and let's say he were waiting until he was 70 years old, and were to buy an immediate annuity,
Rates didn't change. Hypothetical. Here
right?
it is.
He
What's
didn't.
the
He didn't
difference?
have it cooking at the insurance
Right.
company, but if he shows up and actually bought at age 70, at today's rates, that payment will only be $620 per month.
Interesting.
So if he were to let it cook at the insurance company, you'll see that he'll get that.
They're rewarding him for letting them hold the money, which is in essence the whole thing about a deferred income annuity.
Exactly right.
Right. Okay.
So then let's do another aspect of this. Let's say he does want to have a death benefit. Let's say he wants to put some cash refund on there,
Right.
so that if his bus gets hit by the Learjet,
Right.
via the Bentley,
Right.
put all those together, going from $780 a month, it will reduce about $100 a month. So he would only get about $680.
Which
a
means
month.
that he dies, poof, and the lump sum goes to the listed beneficiaries of the policy.
Right.
Evil annuity company doesn't keep a penny.
No.
Okay. Got it. Anything else?
No, that should be do it. I mean, essentially, you would look at these products, and again, in the same way that you would plan for your first Social Security check or your first pension payment, you'll be able to go through and understand exactly when you're going to plan to get that first.
So
payment.
let's wrap up deferred income annuities, which is the most simplistic solution for income later. I mean, it is a pension plan. And if you like your Social Security, Gary, you're going to love deferred income annuities because it's the same structure.
Right.
The longer you wait to turn on the income, the higher the income stream.
Yep.
But you can customize it. You can customize the quote, and that's what I like about CANNEX. CANNEX will take your specific situation in wherever you live, whatever state, your dates of birth, whatever, and however you want to customize that contract and that payout, and run it through your system and show the highest contractual guarantees. Deferred income annuities, if you're looking for it, boy, CANNEX can show you the highest contractual guarantees available to you. What do you want the people to know about deferred income annuities?
Well, I think a great fit is somebody who's looking ahead and they see that runway towards retirement or that income need. I have a chance to start building up that floor, if you will. I don't have to do it just one time. It can be multiple premiums into
Right.
that contract.
Right.
And then it's a way to plan ahead and start building something for the future.
Well said. I'm Stan, the Annuity Man.
And I'm Gary Baker from CANNEX. We'll see you next time.
Wasn't that fun? I mean, education. You cannot beat education, especially when it comes to annuities. Why? Because you own annuities for what they will do, not what they might do. And the will do are the contractual guarantees. And deferred income annuities, DIAs, acronym, are all about contractual guarantees. Make sure to watch the whole series of these CANNEX videos. And I'm going to point randomly right over there. And there should be one that you can click and see that one as well. They're fantastic. The only thing that's kind of a distraction is the goatee that I'm wearing and the shaved head, but go with me on that one. It was a life stage. It was 5, 6, 7 years ago. I've matured, obviously. I'm down to the baseball cap. So wasn't that fun, producer? We learned about deferred income annuities. Now you can learn more because I've written a book on deferred income annuities. Right there. There it is, the owner's manual. I've also written 6 total owner's manuals that I will send to you for free if you go to theannuityman.com. And to get fancier, I'm going to send it to you in this gold foil mailer. Isn't that great? You'll be the talk of the neighborhood when that UPS guy, or I think it's actually Postal Service, delivers that. Now, couple things. Go to my site at theannuityman.com to get quotes, to use our calculators, to listen to podcasts, everything annuity. Also, I'm pointing here to another CANNEX video that I did. There's a series of them, and that's one that you need to take a look at as well. But before you leave, this is important, there's a subscribe button right below me. Producer, it's right there. Point there, go down, there it is. Click that, please, and you'll be alerted to when I do these videos every day, Monday through Friday, until the cows come home, as they say in the South. And with that, I'll see you on the next Stand the Annuity Man video.